Let's all go to the lobby. Let's all go to the lobby. Let's all go to the lobby and have ourselves a drink.
All right, and with Michaela singing, that means we are back in the lobby bar for the week of September the 23rd, 2024. Brian and Michaela here with you. And Michaela, every week here at Drink the Movies, we get a request, someone will comment on one of our social media posts, we'll get an email, right? Someone will call like 1-800 Drink the Movies. And every week so far, the last couple of weeks, it's been the same thing. When are you guys going to make a pumpkin drink? It's fall, y'all. Get on with it. And today we are.
Today we are. Now, to be fair, we try to wait. I'm basic AF. Okay. So I love a pumpkin spice. We've
I
talked about
mean,
this
true.
like September 1st. I'm usually in the aisle, like looking for all the pumpkin spice cream, pumpkin spiced lattes, pumpkin spiced everything. Last week, it was super rainy and gross, and I made like 3 loaves of pumpkin bread. So
Mm-hmm.
I am all about it, but out of respect for the fact that Mother Nature says that it's still like summer in most of the areas around in the South, especially, we try to pay homage to the summer just a little bit longer here because it's really hard to feel cozy and flannelly when it's 90 degrees out. So,
That's true.
however, the weather broke. It got cold and rainy last week, and now I feel like we are ready to do a real pumpkin spice drink. Now, for any of our longtime listeners, a year ago, maybe 2 years ago, we did a video on how to make like a pumpkin spiced simple syrup. We're
Mhm.
gonna reshare that this month for the folks because it is super easy. It's super great. It's really cool to be able to do that kind of stuff yourself, and it's really not hard. So we're gonna put that out. We're not using any of that in this recipe, but this has all the pumpkin stuff in it. I'm so excited. This is a spiced pumpkin flip, which means it has egg
Yeah.
in it, which is one of my favorite ingredients because I love a silky, creamy drink without a lot of cream and silk in it. So,
Michaela does love an egg. Yeah, and we're very excited about the spice pumpkin flip. And Michaela was dead on. Basic, yeah, I'm not going to go down that road and call her out on that, but some lumberjack chic is up Michaela's alley for sure. And
yep.
she sent me this recipe like literally like 5 weeks ago, right? Getting ready to do it. But we're holding off, right? It's amaretto month. But this drink is perfect because it features amaretto, and it
Yep.
features a lot of pumpkin. It's perfect for the fall. It is rich, it is delicious, and it's really good. So, Michaela, why don't you go ahead and mix one of these up for everyone?
All right. So the first thing you're going to need is some pumpkin ale. All right. Now, not all pumpkin ales are created equal. Brian, you are the veteran beer drinker, ale drinker, consumer
Hmm.
amongst the
Yes.
two of us because I'm not a huge beer drinker. I'll drink it, but it's not my thing. So tell me about your favorite pumpkin ale. Let's start there.
Yeah, so I mean there are a bunch of different options. In the before times when craft beer just started and you'd start seeing like pumpkin ales, it was all kind of like this golden ale that had some like pumpkin pie spices to it, basically is what it is. Or, it might have some pumpkin like in the mash bill while you're brewing the beer and the fermentation kind of after the fact. But now there's a bunch, right? So there's like pumpkin coffee blondes out there I've had. There's pumpkin stouts. There's all sorts of things that you can do. I just went with it was from Elysian Brewing, and it was just a regular standard pumpkin ale, which is what I would do with this. It might be fun to play around with and do like a stout or something, but you're gonna have to temper some of the other ingredients, I think, on the back end of that. So I would just get just a tried and true, just a regular like pumpkin ale. Nothing too fancy, nothing too high proof. In this because a flip is a little bit of a kind of a lower ABV. It's meant to be rich in the warmth from this egg that we're going to talk about here in a second. Not so much just from like the overly booziness of it. So
Ooh, yeah, very good. All right, so you're going to use your pumpkin ale. You've got that. I would set that aside for now. You're going to take a shaker tin. You are not going to add any ice in it because we are going to do a dry shake. For those of you that don't know what a dry shake is, you're going to shake a bunch of stuff. Usually you use it with an egg or an egg white. It adds just an extra amount of creaminess because it doesn't get diluted with the ice. You're going to shake it. Then you're going to add ice, shake it again. That's what a dry shake is. Okay, so you're going to take a whole egg and you're going to put this in the bottom of your shaker tin. You're going to add to that 1 tablespoon of pumpkin butter. If you're really like crafty and you've made your own, kudos to you. I went to a store and bought mine. I don't think it really matters which type it is, but the more pumpkiny it looks, the better because you want it to be extra umptious. You're going to add a half an ounce of your favorite agave nectar. You could use light or dark, doesn't really matter. But again, you want it to look fallish. So I would go with dark because that's what I had. Half an ounce of our amaretto, which is the liquor of the month that we're doing here at Drink the Movies. A whole ounce of bourbon, and then 2 ounces of pumpkin ale. So you can shake that up, add some ice, shake it up again, pour it into I would do like a rocks glass with this. You could use a coupe glass, but you might get a little frothy on the top. It's delicious, I will say. It's very pumpkin-y. But it's not too sweet. So for those of you that are thinking that we're going to give you diabetes in a glass, that's not the case here. It is just, it's like a fall hug in a glass that's creamy, and like the egg adds like this very like heavy comfort food to it. Like it's like a comfort drink.
Yeah, for sure. The flip dates way back to like the late 1600s. There was used basically as like a like a calorie like meal replacement, basically, right? The egg in there. So if the egg weirds you out, fair, I guess. Maybe skip the flip, as it were. But this was really good. It's akin very much to like a one-off kind of eggnog. Right, you can think of it that way, as opposed to making like a whole big batch of an eggnog. It's like an eggnog in a cup. You're just doing a one-off there. And this was really good. It was really, really pumpkin-y. So kind of depending on the pumpkin ale that you pick and the pumpkin butter that you're using, you might want to play around with that. If you don't feel up to getting some pumpkin butter, you can't find it at your store. I had to order mine online because I was having a hard time finding it at the store. You could probably swap out the agave nectar for like some maple syrup. That would be good. That would get you some fall flavors in there as well. Still use your pumpkin ale for sure, and that's going to give you your spiced pumpkin bit there. But this is really good. It's very, very rich, as you might imagine, having that whole egg in there. But perfect on a cool day. And then kind of this flip recipe here with the pumpkin ale, you could totally swap out the pumpkin ale for just any other kind of like beer that you wanted to use, right? Any other sort of ale. You could use, any kind of different, instead of the pumpkin butter, you could use maybe like an apple butter, or, any other kind of thing. You could use like different jams and stuff, and totally play around with this. And then just keep this flip recipe in your back pocket. So that way, when you get up here this winter on a nice cold morning and you want to have something to warm your hearts, you can mix up a flip, and that's going to be a good thing to do. So this one was really good. It's a little bit more complicated than the normal lobby bar cocktail, but I think it's worth it, and it's fun to do something a little bit different here as we get into full on pumpkin spice season. Maybe we'll do some more pumpkin here coming into October. We'll have to see. So Michaela's excited already. Michaela, I don't know if you're excited about this. Transformers 1, it opens with $9.5 million. We're recording this a bit early because Michaela is on her way out of town, so we don't know how it wrapped up for the weekend, but pretty strong opening. We've got a couple of things coming out to your movie theaters this week, Michaela. So we've got one, it's going to make you cry, so I'm going to let you talk about that here in a second. But we've got Francis Ford Coppola's Megalopolis is coming out. Apparently this film has been like 20 years in the making. People were not very high on it. It's coming out of some film festivals that it was at, but it seems like that rating has gone up a little bit. I'm interested to see what it's all about, so we'll be going to see that, and definitely going to be seeing this one. Michaela, take your tissues with you. Wild Robot.
Oh, Wild Robot. Oh my gosh. The preview in and of itself just made me boohoo like a baby. I mean, is it safe to say that this is probably going to make a Best Animated nomination for Oscars? I think so. It looks like a touching tale of a robot that's been left behind on a planet and befriended all of the wildlife. And then I think the aliens come back, and the whole planet's in danger. So all of these furry, sweet friend creatures that the robot is in love with and has built friendships with are in danger, and it's just really awful and tough, and but looks beautiful. I'm excited about that. Now, Francis Ford Coppola, we're covering a Francis Ford Coppola film in a few weeks. We're going to be doing his Bram Stoker's Dracula. So I'm excited to see the visualizations of Megalopolis. Looks pretty good, and the cast is pretty awesome. I love me some Adam Driver. Shia LaBeouf is in it. That's interesting. I mean, he's done some really interesting work. I think John Voight and Dustin Hoffman are making a case for it. And our favorite person, well, maybe not our favorite, but one of our favorites from Breaking Bad, Giancarlo Esposito is in it.
Mm,
So that's exciting. I mean, everything he does is great. He's like a
that's right.
hidden gem that we
He's
don't want to be hidden. We want him to be like front and center on all the things. He's so
I don't
good.
know. He's always a bad guy though, so maybe we need to keep him hidden.
Ooh.
Yeah. So I'm very interested, I guess, to see how that comes together. Maybe it's going to be a mess. Maybe it's going to be amazing. I don't know. It's probably going to look really cool, for sure. So definitely interested to see that. So that's coming your way to the movie theaters. On TV, you're able to watch. I think these are both out right now. His Three Daughters is streaming on Netflix. That one looks really good. Getting some good feedback. It stars Carrie Coon, Natasha Lyonne, and Elizabeth Olsen as these three sisters having kind of this reunion sort of a thing. And then we've got I Saw the TV Glow, which is a horror kind of thing from A24 that is streaming over on Max. So you can go check those out on your TVs. Last week on the podcast, we talked about Beetlejuice. That was excellent, covering the sequel to the original Beetlejuice. And we talked about the original Beetlejuice over on our Patreons, patreon.com/drinkthemovies. You can go there for extra bonus content, bonus episodes like that. We talked about the cocktails we had going to see Beetlejuice, and we've got our hangout coming up this week for our cocktail connoisseur and red carpet club patrons out there. So if you want any more information on that, head over to the Patreon and check it out, and stay tuned for the main show. This week, we're going to be talking about October Sky. Yes, it's the last week of September, but we're talking about October Sky. Is a pretty fun one, so make sure you check that out. So, Michaela, you've got some packing to do. You've got some flips to make, and I don't know. I think that's
I think
that's
that's
it.
it.
I guess I think that's
That's
it.
it for
So
the lobby bar.
that's it for the lobby bar. So let's go ahead and take a flip for the road. So mix one of those up. Let us know what you think about a flip. Send your own flip recipes, and we'll talk to you next week in the lobby bar.